Ladies and gentlemen of my Alpha family, I love you all. I love too deeply to put it into words. But there are times when love requires more than just praise or admiration. It requires truth, no matter how dark or bitter it might seem. And today, the truth we must face is one that speaks of betrayal, of corruption, of a game beyond saving. There comes a moment when the rules no longer apply, and the very foundation of what we believed in crumbles before us. The game is no longer the same. It has been tainted, infected by forces unseen but ever present. I stand before you, not to deliver hope, but to deliver reality, and to show you what happens when we refuse to confront the darkest side of our existence. You corrupted the core files, their games beyond saving. We didn't arrive here overnight, did we? No, we've been building to this moment for a long time. It started with small cracks, subtle enough to be dismissed. At first we laughed them off, brushed them aside, convinced ourselves that the foundation was strong enough to weather the storm. But the cracks kept spreading, silently gnawing at the edges, until finally, the truth became undeniable. The very core of what we built, what we trusted, what we loved, it has been corrupted. We didn't see it coming. We were too busy playing the game, too busy believing in the illusion that things could always stay the same. But now, look where we are. The game that once held so much promise, so much potential, is gone. It's lost to us, swept away by the chaos we created. We were supposed to be the ones who controlled the rules, who understood the game better than anyone else. But now, we're the ones left in the ruins, wondering where it all went wrong. We were the architects of our own demise. Every choice we made, every decision we ignored, every flaw we refused to address, it all built toward this inevitable moment. And now, we stand here, staring at the destruction we've wrought, knowing deep down that we have no one else to blame but ourselves. This was the price of our arrogance. And still, we try to fix it, don't we? We try to patch the holes, to repair the damage, to find some way to make it all right again. But deep down, we know it's pointless. The game is beyond saving. You can't fix what's been broken beyond repair. You can't return to a past that's already been lost. The core files are corrupted, the foundation shattered, and no matter how much we try to rebuild, the pieces will never fit together again. And yet, we keep trying. We keep pushing forward as though there's still hope, as though we haven't already crossed the point of no return. There's a certain kind of madness in that, isn't there? The refusal to let go, to accept the irreversible nature of what's happened. We tell ourselves that if we just try hard enough, if we just push a little longer, things will somehow work out. But they won't. And the more we fight, the more we sink into the quicksand of our own making. Every effort to fix the unfixable only drags us deeper into the abyss. We've dug our own grave, and now we must lie in it. The game is lost, and we are the ones who condemned it. But don't mistake me for someone who feels sorry for us. I don't pity us. Pity is for those who still believe in redemption, who still believe that there's a chance to turn things around. We've crossed the line, and now we must face the consequences. There's no going back, no undoing what we've done. The game we once played with such passion, such intensity, is no longer a game at all. It's a hollow shell, a mockery of what it used to be, and we are the ones who've turned it into this grotesque parody. So why do we keep playing? Why do we persist in this futile attempt to salvage what's already gone? It's simple, really. We're addicted to the idea of control. We can't accept that we've lost it. We tell ourselves that as long as we keep moving, as long as we keep fighting, we can somehow regain what was taken from us. But what we fail to realize is that we never had control to begin with. The game was always out of our hands. We were merely players, following the script, pretending that we could alter the outcome. But now, the script is beyond saving. The game's already over. And yet, here we are, still trying to win. But we're not playing the same game anymore, are we? No. The rules have changed, the players have changed, and even the very nature of the game itself has changed. The corrupted core files have altered everything. What was once simple is now complex. What was once clear is now clouded in confusion. And we, in our desperation, continue to try to play by old rules that no longer apply. It's an exercise in futility, a never-ending cycle of defeat. Every move we make takes us further away from the goal, further away from any sense of victory. But here's the real truth. Deep down, we know this. We know that the game is lost, that the corruption runs too deep to be undone. And yet, we keep playing because we're afraid to face the truth. We're afraid to admit that we've failed, that we've ruined everything we once held dear. We cling to the hope that there's still something worth saving, that there's still a chance to turn it all around. But that's the greatest illusion of all, the belief that we can fix what's been broken beyond repair. There's no coming back from this. There's no salvation in sight. We are the architects of our own destruction, and we must live with that. We cannot escape the consequences of our actions. The game is over, and all that remains is the wreckage we've left behind. The only question now is whether we will continue to deny it, or whether we will finally accept the truth and face the inevitable. But there is a certain freedom in that acceptance, isn't there? Once we stop pretending that we can fix the unfixable, once we stop fighting a losing battle, we can begin to move forward. We can stop clinging to the past and start embracing the present for what it is. We can stop trying to revive a dead game and start finding new ways to play, new ways to exist in a world that has already been irrevocably changed. The game we once knew is gone, and we must accept that fact if we ever hope to move on. But make no mistake, this is not a call for surrender. It is not a plea for mercy. It is simply a recognition of the reality we face. The game is over, and there is no going back. We have corrupted the core files, and the game is beyond saving. The only question now is whether we will accept that, or whether we will continue to fight a battle that was lost long before we ever began. There were forces at play that we couldn't see, that we chose not to see. We were too consumed by the illusion of progress, the illusion of control, to recognize the truth that we were never truly in charge of this game. It was never ours to win or lose, and we were simply caught in a cycle that had already been set in motion long before we ever picked up the pieces. The moment we believed we had any semblance of control, that was the beginning of our downfall. We thought we could shape the world, shape the game, and bend it to our will. But the world was always changing beneath us, and we were too blinded by our ambition to notice. The truth is, we were never meant to win this game. It was designed to break us. And the moment we allowed ourselves to believe we could overcome its inherent nature, that was the moment we sealed our fate. We played right into its hands. You see, the true enemy was never the game itself, never the world we thought we could master. No, the true enemy was our own hubris, our belief that we could control the uncontrollable. We thought we could outsmart it, outplay it. But in the end, it was always us who were being played. The corruption started quietly, subtly, almost imperceptibly. It wasn't a grand betrayal at first, but 1,000 tiny compromises. We told ourselves it didn't matter. One little lie, one small concession, one insignificant choice, it wouldn't change the outcome. But those little choices piled up, until they became insurmountable. And when the core files finally corrupted beyond repair, when the system that we had built started to unravel, we stood there, stunned, unaware of how we got to this point. How could we have known? How could we have predicted that all the things we took for granted, all the little decisions we made, would lead us here, to this broken game? This isn't the first time we've faced failure. No, this is a cycle of destruction and rebirth, of trying to fix what was never meant to be fixed. We've been here before, in one form or another. We've seen the wreckage, the pieces scattered at our feet, and yet we always find ourselves trying to put it back together, hoping that this time things will be different, but they never are. We are bound by the same flawed logic, the same mistakes that have plagued us time and time again. We keep trying to rewrite the script, to change the outcome, but we are simply puppets in a show that has already been written, a play where the ending is inevitable. You think you can rebuild this game, don't you? You think you can pick up the pieces, fix the core files, and start fresh, but you can't. The game is dead. The foundation is gone, and nothing you do can ever change that. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you can stop fighting against the inevitable. But even in the face of all this, even in the face of overwhelming evidence that this game is beyond saving, you still cling to the hope that something can be salvaged. You think that by forcing yourself to move forward, by pretending that everything is okay, you can somehow regain what was lost. But the truth is, the longer you deny it, the longer you refuse to face the truth, the deeper you'll sink into the chaos. And by the time you finally wake up to reality, it will be too late. There's no escape from this. There's no way out. You can't undo what's been done. The choices you made, the actions you took, the way you ignored the warning signs, those are the reasons we are here now. And the consequences, they're irreversible. You may think that by continuing to play, by pushing through the pain, you'll somehow find a way to fix everything. But that's the lie you tell yourself to keep going, to justify your actions. Deep down, you know the truth. You know that the game is over, that the corruption has spread too far, that no amount of effort will bring it back to life. But this is the moment of reckoning, isn't it? This is the moment where you have to decide whether you will continue to fight a battle that was lost long ago, or whether you will finally accept the truth and move on. Because the truth is, you're not the savior of this game. You never were. You were never meant to be. The moment you accepted the illusion of control, the moment you thought you could outwit fate, was the moment you lost. And now, all that remains is the wreckage. I don't tell you this to crush you, to destroy your spirit, or to take away your hope. Number. I tell you this because it's time to face reality. It's time to stop pretending that things are okay when they're not. It's time to stop clinging to a past that no longer exists, to stop fighting a battle that has already been lost. The game is over. You've corrupted the core files, and now there's no coming back from that. But in that acceptance, in that realization, there is freedom, there is strength. Because once you let go of the illusion that you can save what has been lost, once you stop trying to put the pieces back together, you can finally move forward. You can start again. But it won't be the same game. It won't be the same world. And it shouldn't be. You are not the same person who started this journey. The person you were before this fall is gone. The only question now is whether you will choose to grow, to adapt, to rise above the wreckage, or whether you will remain trapped in the past, forever trying to revive what was never meant to be saved. Do not be mistaken. There is no glory in denying the truth. There is no strength in pretending that everything is fine when it's not. The truth is dark and it's painful, but it is also liberating, because in truth, there is clarity. there is power. And when you stop fighting the inevitable, when you stop pretending that everything can be fixed, you gain the power to move forward, to find new paths, to build new worlds. But you cannot do that until you accept what has already been lost. This is the cost of corruption. This is the price of believing in a game that was never truly yours to win. The sooner you face that, the sooner you can find the courage to move forward. The sooner you let go of the past, the sooner you can build something new. The truth is, the game was always beyond saving, but that doesn't mean your journey is over. It's just begun. You see, the destruction of the game, the fall of everything you once held dear, was not the end. It was not a final moment of loss. In fact, it was the beginning of something far more significant, far more profound than anything you could have imagined. The greatest mistake we make as we face defeat is believing that the end of one thing means the end of all things. We mourn the past, lament what we had, and we drown in the sorrow of its passing. But that is not where your journey ends. Not if you have the courage to see what lies beyond the rubble. That is where the real journey begins. You thought the game was about winning, didn't you? You thought it was about conquering the rules, about defeating the challenges, about being crowned the victor. But that was never the true essence of the game. The game was never about the final moment of triumph or the accolades you'd receive in the end. No, the game was about what you learned along the way. It was about the choices you made, the failures you faced, the moments of doubt that shaped you. And now, having witnessed the end of this chapter, you have a unique opportunity to take all of that, everything you've learned, every scar you carry, and forge something new, something better. You may not see it now, you may not understand it, and you may even feel a deep, gnawing despair as you stand among the ruins, looking at the pieces that used to make up the game you once played. But listen closely. Beneath that despair, beneath that sense of loss, there is something more. There is a spark, an ember of hope, of purpose, waiting to be ignited. You can choose to wallow in the ashes, or you can choose to rise from them. You can choose to be the architect of your own future, to build something from the wreckage, to take what was destroyed and create something entirely new. The world doesn't owe you a second chance. Life doesn't owe you redemption, but it offers it nonetheless. If you are willing to see it for what it is, the most difficult, painful truth imaginable, you will realize that what you've just endured, what you've just lost, is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a new one. This is your chance to redefine yourself, to redefine the game, to reshape your destiny. And it starts right now, right here, with the decision to stop dwelling in the past and start forging the future with your own hands. And let's be clear, this is not a call to rise up in blind defiance, to lash out at the world and scream at the heavens in anger. Number. It's not about that kind of false strength. This is about real strength, the strength that comes from within, the strength that can only be forged in the crucible of adversity, the strength that allows you to face the truth even when it's painful, even when it's inconvenient. It's about the strength to accept the reality of your situation, the courage to look at what is and say, this is not where I stop. This is where I start over. This is the difference between those who are broken by failure and those who use failure as a stepping stone to something greater. It's the difference between those who mourn their losses and those who understand that loss is a part of life, a necessary part of growth. You cannot move forward if you keep looking back. You cannot build anything new if you keep trying to put the past together, to patch up what has already been destroyed. The game is over. The core files are corrupted. The structure is in ruins. But that doesn't mean the story is finished. No, the story is only just beginning. Let's face the reality. You've failed, you've lost. But the failure is not who you are. The loss is not your identity. What matters now is what you do next. What matters now is whether you allow this moment of destruction to be the catalyst for your growth, or whether you let it define you forever. Will you allow it to make you stronger, sharper, more resilient, or will you let it break you, drown you in regret, and leave you in a perpetual state of mourning for what was? Because the truth is, no one can save you except yourself. There will be no hero who swoops in to fix this for you. No magical moment of redemption that will suddenly make everything right again. It's up to you to rise from the ashes. It's up to you to find the strength to move forward, to learn from your mistakes, to use the lessons of the past as the foundation for a new beginning. This is your test. This is your moment of reckoning. And how you rise from this will determine everything that comes after it. And let me be clear, rising doesn't mean pretending like everything is okay. It doesn't mean putting on a mask and going through the motions, hoping that somehow the broken pieces will miraculously come together. Rising means facing the truth. It means looking at the wreckage and saying, "This is what I have, and I will build something with it." Rising means acknowledging the pain, the loss, the mistakes, but refusing to let them control you. It means taking ownership of your past, not allowing it to define you, and using it as the foundation to create a future that is truly yours. There are no guarantees, no promises of success. Life doesn't hand out second chances, but it offers you the ability to create your own destiny, to choose what comes next. It offers you the ability to learn, to adapt, to overcome. And in that, there is power. In that, there is hope. The truth is, you don't need to go back and fix the past. You don't need to make everything right again. What you need to do is move forward with the wisdom, the strength, and the resilience that you've gained from this journey. The lessons you've learned, the pain you've endured, they are not weaknesses. They are your greatest assets. And it is from them that you will forge your future. The game you once knew is gone. It's been corrupted beyond repair. But that doesn't mean the world is over. It just means the rules have changed. And it's time for you to adapt. It's time for you to step into a new chapter, a new phase of your journey. The game may have been lost, but the fight is far from over. You have what it takes to rise again. You have what it takes to build something new, something stronger, something more resilient. But it begins with you. It begins with the decision to stop mourning the past and start forging the future. So what will it be? Will you remain shackled by the ruins of what was, or will you rise, unbroken, unbowed, and ready to face what comes next? The choice is yours. You are the architect of your own destiny, and no one can take that from you. Not the game, not the corruption, not the failures or the losses. You are in control now, and this is just the beginning. In the end, the game is over, and the core files are corrupted beyond saving. But that doesn't mean your journey is finished. It's only just begun. You have faced failure. You've seen loss, and you've felt the weight of the destruction. But in those moments of despair, there lies the opportunity to rebuild. The past is gone, but the future remains in your hands. It's time to rise from the ashes, to learn from what has been, and create something new, something stronger. The power to shape your destiny has always been yours. The real question now is, what will you do with it?